Former President Trump makes a campaign speech in Hialeah.
America safe. I kept Israel safe. I kept Ukraine safe. And I kept the world safe.
On the same day, his daughter is called to testify. Meanwhile, a debate in Miami.
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night.
Featuring his top 5 opponents for the Republican nomination. And increased security at Jewish community centers and schools.
It will make the kids feel safer.
Part of new rules in Florida. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Parsa K. Sajadi.
I'm Sofia Bolivar. Today is Thursday, November 9th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Debate in Miami as nearly all of the top Republican candidates took the stage at the Arch Center, all except Donald Trump. More on Trump in a moment, but we begin this morning with Miami's big night on the political stage.
Caplin's Cindy Claros reports from downtown Miami.
Among the 5 Republican presidential candidates that hit the stage last night, the question of who's the strongest alternative to former President Donald Trump was pressing for both former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
You're trying to make up for it and act like you weren't a liberal when it comes to the environment. You were. You always have been. Just own it.
She welcomed them into South Carolina, gave them land near a military base, wrote the Chinese ambassador a love letter saying what a great friend they were.
I'm outside the Adrian Arch Center today, where the Republican debate took place yesterday night. Joining them on the Miami debate stage, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. A major theme, foreign policy with the American role in focus as war rages between Israel and Hamas.
I would be telling Bibi, finish the job once and for all.
They have to, 1, eliminate Hamas, 2, support Israel with whatever they need whenever they need it, and 3, make sure we bring our hostages home.
The candidates also took stock of Tuesday election results, including key victories for Democrats in Virginia and Kentucky, as voters in the red state Ohio approved a constitutional amendment to protect abortion rights.
We need a 15-week federal limit. This is an issue that should be decided in each state.
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers.
This is Cindy Claros, Caplin News.
MAGA Miami-Dade, as former President Trump decides not to skip the trip to Florida. As Caplin Samuel Larreal reports, instead of the debate stage, Trump headed to meet supporters in Hialeah.
As UP candidates prepare for the 3rd Republican debate, Donald Trump has prepared some counter-programming. He has come to Hialeah to try to increase his Hispanic and Latino support. Merch vendors, MAGA hats, American and Cuban flags fill the streets surrounding the Hialeah Ted Hendricks Stadium as Trump supporters gather to cheer for the candidate who's currently leading the Republican polls.
That I truly believe wholeheartedly that Trump is the best option we have right now.
Despite the numerous trials and legal investigations against the former president, for many voters, illegal immigration and the state of the economy are the central issues that are driving them to support Donald Trump.
It cannot be a Republican or Democrat. It has to be a MAGA candidate. And Trump is MAGA. The economy, gas, housing, everything in general. Control the border as well, because that's very important for us right now, because we're outnumbered in every sense of the word.
The big one is the border. That's all I have to say. I mean, for God's sakes, how many people can you let over in this country? We have people that are starving on our streets. We need to bring over, 6, 8 million more? Biden's a disaster. Biden should resign. And anybody that voted for him should probably leave the country. How's that?
In his speech, Trump highlighted his support for the Cuban community and blamed the current conflicts in Ukraine and Israel on the Biden administration.
America safe. I kept Israel safe. I kept Ukraine safe. And I kept the world safe. Israel, Ukraine would have never happened under the Trump administration. There was no chance it would have happened.
In a heated speech that criticized Biden's foreign policy and the surge of migrants arriving at the southern border, Donald Trump also criticized Ron DeSantis and the general Republican Party. For Caplin News, Samuel Arreal.
While Donald Trump took his worries to Hialeah, his daughter spent her Wednesday dodging questions about her possible involvement in a fraud trial involving her family. Ivanka Trump testified yesterday for the New York civil case that could have a major impact on the Trump organization. New York's Attorney General is planning on suing her father and the Trump organization.
Very much involved. We uncovered this scheme, and she benefited from it personally.
The case is looking to bar the former president from continuing to do business in the state and to terminate his companies.
Turning to the war in Gaza, the Israel Defense Forces released a video showing Hamas's weapons cache. In video taken in northern Gaza, one of the IDF soldiers points out instructions on how to manufacture explosives posted on the wall, and a tunnel with a cooling system and a ladder.
Here in Florida, lawmakers have approved millions of dollars in funding to increase security at Jewish schools in the state. As Caplin's Catherine Miranda reports, the decision comes as anti-Semitic incidents surge across the country.
In Florida, lawmakers have approved millions of dollars in funding for security of Jewish schools in the state. The decision comes as anti-Semitic incidents surge across the country since October 7th, when Hamas launched an attack on Israel. In the midst of an ongoing war, there is a glimmer of hope for Jewish communities in Florida.
We feel unsafe, and I think at Jewish school it's a big target.
Parent Ifat Aloni is thankful money could be on the way to help her child's school increase safety.
When we bring more money to get more security, it will make the kids feel safer and also for the parents to feel protected too.
109 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. Speaker.
Sure, the bill passes.
The bill does two things. It creates a nonprofit security grant program with $20 million to increase security at locations that are at a high risk for violent attacks or hate crimes. Another $25 million is specifically set aside for Jewish day schools and preschools to increase their security.
I don't believe it was my idea, but I did suggest that is there any possibility that the governor allocate some funds to provide security to the Jewish community.
Mark Hoppen leads Output Jewish Family Service in West Palm Beach. He says he's increased security at his own facility, adding an armed guard. He's grateful for the legislation and says he'll apply for funds as soon as he's able. Now parents, students, Jewish families, and communities can feel more at ease when going about their day-to-day lives here in Florida. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Catherine Miranda.
The historic SAG-AFTRA strike ended at 12:01 this morning after going on for 4 months. Although many are celebrating the end, this Hollywood tale is not over yet. CNN's John Lawrence has more on the story.
The 118-day soap opera in Hollywood appears to be getting ready to exit stage left.
It's a seminal deal, and it's just an amazing time for our union. It really is.
The SAG-AFTRA strike ended at 12:01 Thursday morning, according to union officials, who said in a statement the tentative agreement will, quote, enable SAG-AFTRA members from every category to build sustainable careers.
There's a lot of improvements on wage negotiations. One of the things that actors have been pushing for is to ensure that they are going to get paid out on streaming residuals.
The actors walked off the set July 14th with numerous complaints toward the Hollywood brass, including the use of artificial intelligence.
That has been the big sticking point for actors over the past few weeks. They wanted to ensure that protections for their actors were built into the contract.
Although some are already celebrating the end of the strike, a typical Hollywood happy ending isn't secured yet. The tentative deal still needs to be ratified before it becomes official. But assuming the pact gets the green light,
I would expect production to resume for your favorite films and series in January, and things that were pushed into the first quarter of 2024, those things might still air, but we're looking at a lot of things returning in the second quarter of the year.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
While White House hopefuls were in Miami, South Florida's hockey team headed to D.C.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Bam with the slam. Well, the Heat attacking this Memphis defense.
The Heat were in Memphis, taking on the Grizzlies. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
A scare on the court for Tyler Hero, the Heat player who was at the center of all the trade talk during the offseason. Even though the Miami Heat were able to find a win on the road against the Memphis Grizzlies, it came at a cost.
Tyler Hero, a guard for Miami, was having a great start to the season that was interrupted by an injury from rolling his right ankle in the first quarter. However, even without Hero, the team pulled off the win against the Grizzlies. The final score was Heat 108, Memphis 102. The Heat will continue with their road trip to Georgia, where they will be playing against the Atlanta Hawks at 7:30 p.m.
And heading to the ice, the Cardiac Cats strike again, beating the Washington Capitals in the D.C. Despite being down 3-2, the Panthers battled back, trying the game in the third and then getting the win in overtime. The final score, Panthers 4, Capitals 3. The Panthers are back home tomorrow to host the Carolina Hurricanes. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Sofia Bolivar.
And I'm Parsa Kesajai. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.